to circumvent that even in the Yuddham. So you needed always a Cho like Krishna. So during the Rajasuya Yajnam came the important question as to whom should the first respects be offered. I am sure the elderly people here will know that in traditional Indian villages, in most temples, fights erupt because of this first respect to a person. Who should be given the first respect? The person who demands it will be the most unworthy in most cases. So here came a question as to who should be given the first respect. No doubt the most overlived person there was Bhishmacharya. Bhishma was given the boon that he could die whenever he wants. Thank God he was only one who was the last person to be given that boon. If everyone were given that boon, then the governments and companies will end up paying more pension than the salaries. So Bhishmacharya was to be given, akin to the Dumbledore of Harry Potter, one of the overlived ones. So while everyone was for the motion, Bhishmacharya said, why do you have to give respect to a person just because he was produced a few years before you were all produced? The number of years don't make a difference. It is in fact the knowledge, the acumen, the valor, the magnanimity, the qualities that one is a repository of that would make him a better person. So if you were to ask me a question, hey Bhishma, could you give a better replacement to yourself? I would singly point out the only person who stands tall in this assembly is Lord Krishna. When he is there as the most effulgent one, who am I? Then people thought, yes, that makes sense. So most of them agreed. Duryodhana was a bit skeptical, yet he had no vengeance on Krishna. So all of them agreed. Sahadeva came, the youngest of the five, and he wanted to offer respects at the feet of Krishna. That is when one lone voice stood against the motion. He was Shishupala. Shishupala was Krishna's aunt's son, own cousin. He said, if respects are to be offered to a thief, to the person who is adept in uttering only lies and nothing but lies, to a person who doesn't mind playing sports and calling it pastimes with women of all ages, to a person who tries duping the world by so-called lifting of the mountain and dancing of the snake, then yes, then you can give it to him. People were worried. They had never heard anyone accusing or admonishing Krishna in this open an assembly. That is when Balarama, the elder brother to Krishna, got angry. Krishna kept on saying, Balarama, you sit 43, 44, 45. Balarama was asking, you are asking me to keep quiet, but why are you uttering these numbers? He said, I'm counting. What are you counting now? No, I had promised Shishupala's mother that I will forgive 100 utterances or scoldings by her son. And I'm in 45, just wait, I need to count the rest. While the 99 came, people were oblivious of the fact that Krishna had given such a boon. When the 100th came the divine discuss, Pratibhatashreni Bhishana Varagunastoma Bhushana Jani Bhayasthana Tarana Jagadabasthana Karana Nikhila Dushkarma Karshana Nigamasat Dharma Darshana Jaya Jaya Shri Sudarshana. And even before they could see the discuss, it had done its job, the head was lying elsewhere. None of them in the assembly dared to open their mouth because the discuss was still loitering in the air. So they all said, we have urgent meetings, and Yudhishthira tried explaining to them. I have called Pattappa and asked him to make food. Eat and go. No, they said, we are all fasting. They all went. So after the event was done, Yudhishthira sat in front of Narada and said, Narada Maharshi, I wanted this to be a sattvic, good housewarming event ended up being a bloodshed. Why is Krishna showing anger on one and love on us? So this is what Shuka Brahman mentioned to Parikshit, that the same question was asked by your grandfather. Let's see what Narada has to answer. Gopyaha kamad bhayat kamsaha dveshat chaidyo dayo nripaha sambandhat vishnaya sneha yuyam bhaktya vayam vibho. Though the destination is quite the same, hey Yudhishthira, the paths are different. Interestingly, while I was being driven to the temple, Kandabiran Mama asked his son, are you not coming in the route I am coming? Have you taken number 9 or 8? What is that? 9. So that is when I realized there is another route to reach this temple. So the destination is the same, the routes are different. So I may mispronounce it as route because that's what I was taught. It's a route here. So correct me if I'm wrong. So I still don't know if it's schedule or schedule. I've been taught by the great Bhagavatottami, Victoria Madam, Wren and Martin, that it is route. Here, Yudhishthira was told by Narada that there are different routes to reach Krishna. So you may reach through bhakti, I may reach through bhakti, but Shishupala reached just through disgust, just by hating the Lord. But don't come to a pre-conclusion by that hating the Lord is much more easier to reach Him. Why coming to the temple, delivering a lecture, listening to a lecture, while hating makes lot of sense. This is what some of the residents of Gopalapuram in Chennai thought for some time. But the point is, when one shows disgust towards the Lord, even while he or she shows that feeling of disgust, the presence of the Lord is still within him or her. So, while these answers sounded convincing to Yudhishthira asked, then let me know what is the true reason. That is when Narada said, long back, there lived a demon called as Hiranyaksha, who had a brother called Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyaksha wanted to be a bit innovative. He saw people troubling the others while living on earth. He wanted to be a bit innovative. He wanted to trouble earth. So it is believed that he took Mother Earth and put her into the waters, the oceanic waters of deluge. Comes a pertinent question. Oceans are on earth. How can you keep earth inside ocean? So this ocean that Puranas supposedly talk is not the ocean that we see around. It is called Pralayarnavam, the ocean of deluge, where the liquid that is present in the ocean is of a different viscosity. It will still drown the object that they see, and Mother Earth had a thin layer of moss over her. Looking at his wife, Bhuma Devi, suffer at the hands of this demon king, tyrant demon king called Hiranyaksha, the Lord couldn't bear it for a while. While the celestials saw this pitiable state of Bhuma Devi, they went and complained to Brahma. Brahma had started one initiative, make in Satyaloka. So his only work is production. Maximum happens in China and India. So this is his only job. The celestials went and complained. Brahma, you have taken so much efforts to create Mother Earth. Now Mother Earth is missing. Imagine you have typed an entire Word document and you go back to your computer and check the entire Word document is missing. Wouldn't that give you frustration? So Brahma was equally frustrated. That's the utmost he could do, being frustrated. So while he was frustrated and thought for a while, a swine, a pig jumped from his nostril. This was even more frustrating to him. Imagine you breathe in and breathe out and a pig jumps from your nostril. And somebody clicks the picture of it. So he was worried. Vishnu Puranam says, Mahabaraha sputa padmalochanaha. He wanted to inquire, who are you? And the pig stood with his hands like this and turned. And there Brahma could identify who this pig was, because the eyes were akin to that of a freshly blossomed lotus. Because the Aadhaar card for the Lord is his eyes. We have got a different Aadhaar card. The Lord's Aadhaar card are his eyes. When Shurpanakha, the widowed sister of Ravana, she goes to the hermitage of Rama, she offers her love, she proposes, she tells Rama, I love you. Rama said, okay, I take this as a compliment though. She said, I need to marry you. He said, not in this incarnation. He was very careful in choosing his words. He knew the next one he will not reject a single application. So he said, not in this incarnation. I am already married, he said. She said, I don't have a problem. He said, I do have. Rama said, look at my brother. He's fair and lovely. Go to him and put forth your proposal. She did the same. And he said, Lakshmana said, my only job is to wash utensils in their house, and if you get to marry me, you will get your share to wash. While this happened, she saw the beautiful Sita walk from the hermitage. She wanted to go and attack Sita. That's when Lakshmana intervened, humiliated her and sent her. So she had her nose chopped, her ears chopped. She went all the way to her brothers who were stationed in Janasthanam, which is the current day Nagpur. So Khara, Dushyanth and Trishiras, they were all there. They asked, who has done this to my dear, wonderful sister, beautiful sister? To the brothers, the sister was beautiful. So who has done this to my beautiful sister? She said, the one who has got the lotus-like eyes has done this. Tarunau Rupa Sampannau Sukumarau Mahabalau Pundarika Visalakshau Chira Krishna Chilambarau. The one with the lotus-like eyes has chopped my nose. Would you ever say that? Somebody slaps you and the other person asks, who has done this? The one with long arms who came in front of me like a hero, walked like a model on the ramp and then slapped me. Would you ever say this? Why did Shurpanakha have to say? Valmiki says, Shatroho prakhyata viryasya ranjaniyasya vikramaini. The beauty of Rama lied in the very fact that he would get the unexpected but yet the positive testimonials even from his enemies. So even while Shurpanakha had to describe Rama, she did not forget to mention the lotus-like eyes. Pundarika Visalakshau. When Lord Krishna had to walk as a messenger to the court of Dhritarashtra, he refuses to stay in the house of Drona, Bhishma and Duryodhana. Duryodhana was angry at Krishna's decision. You being the king of Dwaraka should be adept in the rules of administration. You've forsaken the house of Bhishma, Drona and me. And you're walking to the hut of Vidura. Bhishma Drona Vratikramya Mamschaiva Madhusudana Kimartham Pundarikaksha. He was admonishing Krishna. At that point he says, oh lotus-eyed Krishna, you have not come into my house. Even while scolding, that lotus eye will come. So Andal tells, Shangodu Sakkaram Yendum Tadakkayan Pangayar Kannanai Padu. So to this lotus-eyed Lord, Brahma could recognize that he was Varahamurti. So Varahamurti went into the waters of deluge with its crescent-like tusks. Pashiturthu kidanda parvagatku pandorunal masudambin nirvara manamila panniyam tirusudayattevar Tiruvaranga Chelvanar tells Andal. Nammalvar, the mystic saint poet in Tamil tells, கோலமலர்பாவைக்கு அன்பாகிய நண்பேயோ நீலவர இரண்டு விரை கவ்வி நிமிர்ந்ததொப்ப கோலவராக முன்னாய் நிலம் கொட்டிடங்கொண்ட எந்தாய் நீலக்கடல் கடைந்தாய் உம்மை பெற்றினி போக்குவனோ. So while Bhuma Devi was lifted from the waters of deluge, she was put back to her place and the Lord killed Hiranyaksha. Now Hiranyaksha's body came in a coffin. Ministers were wondering where to bury Hiranyaksha. Where is the place to bury Hiranyaksha? Many of them said Marina Beach. So Marina Beach is the sole place to bury people. It has become a burial ground. So at that point in time, seeing his brother Hiranyaksha lying in the coffin, Hiranyakashipu stood with wrath. He said, my brother has been killed. what injustice has been done to antisocial elements. Something has to be done. Kute hite Vishnu. Kute hite in Sanskritam means the man with the puzzling nature. So I will go in search of him and kill. That is when his wife comes. Hiranyakashipu's wife was called Kayatu. Kayatu comes. She shows her report. HbA1, HCG. HCG value was over 6 or 7. I don't know what is that value. She said, I am pregnant. He said, congratulations. Now I have to go on a project to avenge the death of my brother, but I am happy that you have conveyed this news to me. I need to go to the woods. He went. And the person who could be easily impressed with to get boons was Brahma. He was like our ancient Indian government officer. If you give something, I don't know, many of you are very innocent here. You don't know the meaning of something. You can inquire back home. So, he went all the way to the forests and started performing penance towards Brahma. On the other hand, Indrasyarthe katam daityan. Indra, who is the son to Aditi Devi. Indra Shabdam. So, I keep telling this in most of my lectures. I will tell this again. Some of you might have heard it in YouTube lectures. I can't help if your memory is good and you still manage to remember this. Most of the nouns that we use in Pullingam in Sanskritam has to be completed with its sound. Ramaha, Krishnaha. So in Sanskrit you offer this to indicate that these words are Pullinga Vachaka Shabdam. But when you bring that to practice, you don't have to make it in Prathama Vibhakti alone. You can just say Rama, Krishna, Govinda. But there has always been an overtinge of a South Indian or a North Indian accent to most nouns. Way south, most Pullinga Vachaka Shabdam will end up having one extra making it A. Rama, Krishna, Govinda, which is absolutely wrong. Because you are indicating someone of the masculine gender. So you cannot add Akarantaka Vachakam there, because generally Akaranta Vachaka Shabdam is a Strilingam. Uma, Saumya, Rama, Geeta, Lavanya, A. So you cannot add A. So it is not Rama, Krishna, Govinda. This is the big fault that South Indian accent bearing people commit. While on the contrary, if you go to the north, the last bit of the pronunciation is swallowed. Ram, Krishna, Govind. Continue the word. Shantakar, Bhujakshayan, Padmanam, Suresh. See, you need to add that im to make it Dvitiya Vibhakti. Then only you will say that the person Shantakaram only indicates that the person is of the form of serenity. He is of Shanta Akaram. So if you say Shantakar, that im is not added, then the question in Sanskrit grammar will come, whom are you talking about? So it is not Ram, Krishna, Govind. It is Rama, Krishna. Neither Rama. So somewhere in between. It's like a metalloid. Somewhere between the metal and the non-metal. Here, Indrasyarthe katam daityan. Indra, as per our Puranams, is an entertainment man. Whether he does his duty well or not, he will let lot of people dance in front of him. There are at least 7 to 8 FIRs that I know of that you can launch on Indra. But because he had the political clout, nobody took action on him. Those days itself. So he had committed the sin of molesting Ahalya. So, me too. Now Ahalya can file one me too on Indra. So, Indrasyarthe katam daityan. Indra wanted to ensure that he gets no enemy in the future. He has one existing one called Hiranyakashipu. But Hiranyakashipu's wife is now pregnant. So he wanted to ensure that the fetus is destroyed. Just like how Ashwathama, Drona's son, will think later. So he abducts, kidnaps Kayatu, Hiranyakashipu's wife. So Indra has done all this. He kidnaps horses, now the wife. Narada Maharishi saw Indra kidnap Kayatu. He stopped Indra and said, see, there are cameras everywhere. In Yajnam, we offer one mantram. Indra Yaswaha. We give a small havish to Indra. If he has got 7 FIRs, why should we give it to him? Correct? Correct. We should not give anything to Indra. Comes the question. Remember, Sayanacharya in Veda Bhashyam tells that wherever there are Samanyavachaka Shabdam in Vedam, like Indra, Agni, Varuna, it does not indicate the deity. It indicates the Parabrahman who is the Antaryami for that deity. So when you do Indraya Swaha, it will go to Parabrahman and not directly to Indra. So get this doubt cleared. So Narada Maharishi stopped Indra. And he said, Indra, this is not right. Under what assumption are you kidnapping Kayatu? Indra said, see, Kayatu is wife to Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu is, you know Narada Maharishi, he is the worst antisocial element we all know. He is a demon that I am facing him day in and day out. And how will his son be? I am sure the son will be like the father. Narada Maharishi said, Indra, you cannot come to such conclusions. Your father was good. So don't come to such conclusions. A child can never be branded good or bad, tells Vedanta Deshika and Tattvatika. A child cannot be branded good or bad because we know of a previous history to his parents. His father could be of a certain attitude. It doesn't mean the child will also be one unless and until you give a better atmosphere for the child to nurture and grow. So it is the environment that makes us up and just not where my DNA is seen. So Indra, don't ever think of killing Kayatu or her child. Leave her to my custody, I will take care of her. So Narada Maharishi takes Kayatu, who was pregnant, to his hermitage. Generally Narada is a marketing person, he keep traveling. But he still had one namesake house. So he took her to his hermitage, made a labor ward for her. Every day he will call the cooks and ask what Kayatu wants, cook all that and give. One day she will ask a North Indian cuisine, one day South Indian, one day Thai, one day Mexican, everything. And after the dinner he used to deliver lectures. That is one of the worst decisions that he took in his life. After dinner you should not deliver a lecture. I am sure most of you will go have dinner. Because generally when you listen to lectures, you may fall asleep. I am not talking about Boston, people are always bright.